Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a potential upcoming snowstorm. I really feel like this one has a lot of potential to just move just a few miles or some more cold air to move in, and this one could be a massive snowstorm. So we're going to be taking a look at this in just a moment. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. And I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very exciting Patreon page in the description and the pinned comment down below. Alright, now for today's comment of the day, I want to know, it's pretty simple, do you think that this snowstorm is going to pan out, or do you think that we're not really going to see much of anything? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get into this video, and I wanted to show you guys how hard my job can be. Take a look at the upcoming pattern. This one is like so difficult to even come up with a video to make. Luckily, there is a potential snowstorm coming up. Otherwise, I have no idea what I'd be making a video about coming up. Hopefully, I have many more videos to make about this single storm. Otherwise, I'm going to have to really come up with something quick, because the upcoming pattern is very boring. Even the temperature pattern, here's the temperature anomalies. I mean, there's practically nothing here to make a video about at all. So let's just go ahead and take a look at 8 a.m. on Saturday, and as you can see, we start to see this storm develop in the central regions of the United States. Very flat pattern, but we do see that precipitation forming, snowfall starting for Colorado, and this is going to generally make its way north as a trough develops behind it. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to move on towards earlier on Sunday, where we're going to start to see snow for the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes, and we'll take a look at what potentially could happen with this one. Now, quickly, I wanted to show you guys the temperature pattern on that same frame we were just taking a look at, 8 a.m. on Saturday, November 21st, and as you can see, it's a very zonal pattern, that's what we would call it, but really, in simple terms, it would be a flat pattern, just cold to the north, warm to the south, just very flat. But we do see that cold to the north moving into Minnesota, Wisconsin, near normal conditions for Michigan. This will be sufficient, especially at night, for snowfall, and we see very warm temperatures to the south. As we move towards what I would say is probably around 4 a.m. on Sunday, November 22nd, you see snowfall beginning for Michigan, portions of Minnesota and South Dakota. But look at all the cold air coming in behind it. You can see the trough there. This one is very close to being a major snowstorm if there's just a little bit more cold air and it trends a little bit further north. Which, to be honest, that does happen very frequently when we see kind of a signal like this. It can get better and better. Here's kind of the surface pattern, or sorry, the upper air pattern, and I wanted to show you guys this. I don't like to get too technical because I get a lot of complaints when I do that, but I wanted to show you guys so you can physically see the trough there. Look at North Dakota and South Dakota, how it does a little U shape. That's our trough moving in, and it's a very small one. We see the northern jet is that green band kind of surrounding that, going down like a U, and then that jet down there for Arizona, New Mexico, that kind of curves up. That's what we'd call our southern jet, or the one that really produces a lot of precipitation. Notice they connect, and that's where our storm comes from, and that's where our cold air comes from to the north. So that's kind of your upper air setup. I hope you were able to learn something from that. What we're going to do is we're going to move on towards where the snowfall is going to begin to get a lot heavier, although it could be even heavier if we saw this trend in a better direction, which we're going to be watching it over the next few days going towards the weekend, and we'll obviously review this many times. But we're going to move on towards kind of Sunday afternoon and take a look at what's happening by then. Alright, and this is probably about 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. on Sunday, November 22nd, and as you can see, we see some moderate snowfall going on for Minnesota, Michigan. The precipitation is generally still where the warm air is located, and that trough is not digging down as much as it could. We're going to take a look at the GFS in a moment, and that model is going to have a lot more snowfall, so stay tuned for that. That's kind of the snowiest solution we have at the moment. But still, regardless, I think this storm could be a lot snowier than what the models are indicating. Here's by about 5 p.m. or so on Sunday, and as you can see, a lot of that snow transfers mostly over to Michigan there, where we could be dealing with some heavier snowfall. Again, as we look at the upper air pattern, we can see that trough still located, well, it's moved a bit further east, but over Minnesota and Wisconsin, so you can locate the northern jet stream there. The southern jet stream is still, it's actually connecting better by this point, so that's why the moisture is really just pushing up where the cold air is. And eventually, as the storm moves out, this is actually by 8 p.m. on Monday, we could see some snowfall for New England and portions of the Northeast as well later on with this one. These are all things we're going to need to be watching closely. And luckily for me, since I have to make videos about the weather, it looks like another snowstorm is potentially moving in to the northwestern United States, which will at least give me a talking point, which is all I need, and I can work with that, obviously. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take a look at the total snowfall map from the European model, and then we're going to get into the much snowier GFS solution. So here's the European model's total snowfall, and again, this could be a lot more. I think this is a very minimalistic outlook here. For Minnesota, generally a couple of inches, and then for Michigan, it's actually a pretty widespread amount of maybe 3 to 6 inches with potential for 6 to 10 inches. I think this could be a very widespread 12-inch plus snowstorm with just a few things coming together the right way. There's plenty of time for this storm to change, which is good news for you snow lovers that are hoping to get more from this system. Let's just move on to our GFS model. And we're taking a look at maybe 4 or 5 a.m. on Saturday, November 21st. And as you can see, we're seeing snowfall for Wyoming, Colorado. So this one gets to a much earlier start. There's more cold air to the north, and there's actually more moisture. Let's just go ahead and move this on towards Saturday afternoon. And as you can see, you can already tell it's a much snowier solution here. This one is just really connecting with that southern jet and the northern jet a lot better. Let's take a look at that actually. And here's our upper air pattern on the GFS model. You can see our trough. It's still pretty far west, but that southern jet is just going right into the northern jet and they're combining. Whenever you see that, that's a huge signal that you're going to see a snowstorm. And it's looking like here. So let's just move on towards about 2 a.m. on Sunday, November 22nd. And as you can see, we get a lot more snowfall. Still Colorado seeing snowfall, but Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, all seeing snowfall. So this is an example of if the precipitation goes much further north. It's definitely possible, and the GFS is saying it's likely. So the GFS has the much snowier solution than the European model at this point. Let's just take a look at that total snowfall on our GFS model. And as you can see, a general 10 to 20 inches is possible there for Colorado. And then same story for southeastern Minnesota and through central Wisconsin, with those pinks indicating the areas of above 10 inches of snow. So definitely the GFS has a much snowier solution. Let's just take a quick look at our Canadian model quickly. And as you can see, it's kind of a combination of the two. It has the GFS's Colorado snowfall, but it definitely has the European model's limited upper Midwest and Great Lakes snowfall. So that's a good combination of the two. We'll just have to watch that closely and see what happens. What we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at our individual ensemble members from the European and the GFS models and just take a look at if there's any major snowfalls being indicated by them. Now, first off, our GEFS model. And what's cool here is we get the individual members here from the model. So we see member 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way through 30, which is the entirety of our GEFS model. So you can take a look at each individual one. Keep in mind the numbers are located in the upper right-hand corner. So first off, member 1, right off the gate, you can see a lot of pinks. That's indicating a very heavy snowstorm there. But member 2 has a pretty minimalistic outlook. Then member 3 has a lot there for Wisconsin. Member 4 has a lot. So you can take a look. You can pause the video and just take a look at each of these members. And I would say about 50% of them have a large snowstorm and then 50% of them have nothing. So that's very hard to work with. But what's interesting and what's, I guess, a good thing to note is that we do have something to work with. That's the important part. Member 15 there has some blues, so that's possibly 2 feet of snow. So there's some members here showing like full-on blizzards. And I want to warn you that pretty much applies with every snowstorm we ever have. There will be at least 1 or 2 models that goes way overboard with it, but it just shows you where the potential is with this system. I'm showing you guys a longer range outlook here. I'm showing you guys a longer range storm and a lower probability storm. I'm definitely thinking this one's more like 50-50 as opposed to my normal video where I would want to go with something I'm a little more confident in. But I showed you guys the pattern in the beginning of this video. I don't have a lot to work with right now, so we're going to have to settle for some more lower probability storms like this one. I hope you guys don't mind. Let me know what you think of this type of video, because maybe I'll do it more in the future if you guys enjoy it maybe more than my typical videos. That would be interesting. But regardless, just let me know what you think. Here's our first set of European ensemble members, because I think we have 50 European model ensemble members, so we're going to go through 25 and then 25. Here's the first 25. And our European ensemble model has a lot less major Snowstorm members here. We have many that are showing pretty much nothing, but for instance, member 13 there, we have some pink showing up. Member 18 as well, right to the right of it. And yeah, member 25 and 24 there, right at the very end on your bottom right-hand corner, also both have some pretty major snowstorms. So yeah, there's some showing some major snowstorms, but it's a lot less than our GEFS model. Yeah, let's move on to the last 25. So this is 26 through 50. And as you can see, 36 and 41 there have some pretty major snowstorms. Also, 29 there, which is kind of towards the bottom left, also has a pretty major snowstorm. And then all three of your bottom right-hand corner, 45, 50, and 49 have pretty big snowstorms as well. Therefore, our snowstorm that we're anticipating, also 39. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. So yeah, there's some members showing a pretty decent snowstorm, but there's also plenty that show nothing. So we're going to keep you guys updated with this one. It's a low probability event. There is some chance that there's nothing, but there's also some chance that there's a lot. So this is going to be an interesting storm to track. I hope you guys are looking forward to more videos on this system. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what is the coldest temperature you felt so far this, I guess, cold season? Because I don't want to include like this January and February from earlier this year. And James Hayes said -9 in Superior, Montana. That's very cold, and that's definitely the superior comment, if you will. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our diamond patrons: Michael Codalesa, Alicia Davis, Catbite, Madbirds, Terry Curtis, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Felix Wheatfield, Kellen Manhart, Michael Beal, Mariah Vieira, Noah Harley, and Mark J. Alongside our platinum patrons: Adam S., Justin Quantrell, Donna Carnes, Alan Belemo, Dovie Nagel, Larry LePan, James Wade, and Cameron Marshall. If you would like to be on our Patreon end screen, you can do so by joining our Patreon page in the description in the pinned comment down below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. And we'll see you guys in the next video.